Let's talk about manifestation. You need to listen to this message if you're trying to manifest something and you feel tired, restless, or stuck in waiting. Manifestation is not magic, and it's not positive thinking. It is a process of training the nervous system to accept a new reality as safe, possible, and real. When done correctly, it does not create pressure. It creates calm. But when done incorrectly, it creates exhaustion, obsession, and disappointment. And most people are not failing because they want the wrong things, but because their process is incomplete. The manifestation process has 3 essential stages, and one of them is commonly talked about incorrectly. First, you imagine the reality that you desire. Second, you feel into it deeply, emotionally, sensorially, and identity-wise. You allow your body to experience what it would feel like to live that life. And third, and this is the step that determines everything, you let it go. This is where most plans break down. People are taught how to visualize. They're taught how to raise their vibration, to get excited, to stay positive, and keep the image alive. But almost no one teaches how to complete the process. Without completion, imagination turns into stimulation. Feeling turns into nervous system arousal, and excitement quietly becomes anxiety. My role here is to help you avoid that mistake, because manifestation does not fail from a lack of belief, it fails from over-engagement. The purpose of visualization is not to keep you emotionally charged, it's to inform the subconscious. Once the subconscious has received the signal, your conscious effort must stop. Otherwise, your body remains in a state of anticipation. And anticipation is not fulfillment. Anticipation is waiting. And waiting is stressful. Your nervous system does not know the difference between excitement and anxiety when either is sustained for too long. Both keep the body alert, forward-leaning, and unresolved. The heart rate stays elevated. The mind keeps checking. The body stays prepared for something that hasn't arrived yet. This is not alignment. This is limbo. And limbo is where burnout happens. Many people believe they're staying in faith. In reality, they're staying activated. They replay the desire in their mind, revisit affirmations, reimagine details, and watch for signs. But underneath all of that is a single question the body keeps asking. Is it here yet? That question keeps the manifestation unfinished. Creation requires closure, and closure requires letting go. Letting go does not mean you stop wanting. It means you stop monitoring. It means your body receives the message that the work is done. Nothing more is required, that it's safe to return to the present moment. This is the part that feels counterintuitive to people who are used to effort producing results. But manifestation does not operate on effort. It operates on coherence. Once you've imagined and felt something fully, your nervous system needs rest, not repetition. Repetition without rest creates tension. Tension signals lack, and lack delays the outcome, not symbolically but physiologically. A regulated nervous system is receptive. A dysregulated one is hypervigilant, and vigilance blocks the flow. This is why manifestations often arrive when people stop caring. Not because caring was wrong, but because the attachment dissolved. The body stopped waiting. The system returned to baseline. And in that neutral, grounded state, life could move again. Think of it like placing an order and then standing at the door waiting all day, heart racing, listening for any footsteps. That is not trust, that is strain. Trust places the order and goes back to living. The same thing is true here. If you feel drained, disappointed, or burned out, it doesn't mean you imagined incorrectly. It means you never closed the loop. You stayed emotionally invested in an outcome that had already been planted internally, but it was never released. And open emotional loops leak your energy. Letting go seals that circuit. And sealing the circuit feels like peace, not excitement. Fulfillment feels calm. Completion feels quiet. Certainty does not shout, it settles. This is why keeping your hopes up can be dangerous when misunderstood. High hope without release keeps the body aroused. Over time, arousal without resolution becomes fatigue. Fatigue becomes discouragement, and discouragement gets misinterpreted as failure. But the failure was never the desire. It was just the inability to rest after imagining. So the correct process is this. You imagine with clarity. You feel it until it becomes real internally. You identify with a version of yourself who already has it, and then you let it go completely. Not as surrender, but as completion. You return to your day. You stop scanning. You stop waiting. You live from presence instead of anticipation. And from that grounded state, things reorganize naturally. This is where faith lives, not in excitement, but in relaxation. Faith is the ability to stop checking, the ability to trust that what has been impressed does not need supervision. If you find yourself constantly thinking about the manifestation, revisiting it emotionally, or feeling restless when it hasn't appeared yet, your nervous system is still working, and working means waiting. Letting go means stopping all of that work. And when the work stops, movement begins. This is how you avoid burnout. This is how you avoid chasing. This is how manifestation becomes sustainable instead of exhausting. You do not attract by holding on. You attract by becoming stable enough to release it. And the moment you feel peace return, that is the signal the process is complete. Just let life handle the rest.